So we have this full spectrum of rocks, and everywhere we see them, they're flat, just like the Great Unconformity is flat, which probably marks the beginning of the flood in this location, all the way up through all these different layers. And every rock layer looks like it was laid down just like these were laid down. And we think this all shows the evidence of the global flood. Here we are at the Trail of Time on the south rim of Grand Canyon. And the secular scientists, the conventional geologists, put out this big display trying to show the billions of years of time that they believe is represented here by the rocks in Grand Canyon. And they got the basement rocks down below. This would be the crust of the earth, the igneous and metamorphic rocks. Then above it you have the Grand Canyon supergroup represented by these layers. And I actually believe these are actually the real rocks that they brought up here and polished up, that you can see from these different various layers. And you get up to this point where the rocks change angle suddenly, and you get into what's called the Great Unconformity. And the Great Unconformity is supposed to represent about 500 million years of time that's missing at this point between these rocks and these rocks. But we don't subscribe to that great amount of time because we really don't see evidence of that. We see a perfectly flat surface pretty much everywhere you look. When you look across the canyon, you can see the same thing, sandstone laying on top of either tilted sedimentary rocks or, more commonly, sitting on top of basement rocks. And so we see this unconformity surface is called the Great Unconformity because it's on every continent of the world. And it's very difficult for the conventional geologists to explain how you get the same erosional surface everywhere at the same time all over the world. But that's what we see here, represented by the Tapete sandstone on top of the basement, or in this case, sometimes in the eastern part of the Grand Canyon, we see the Grand Canyon supergroup represented. But for the part here for where we're at, when you look over at the Trail of Time, you actually see mostly igneous and metamorphic rocks with the Tapete sandstone sitting right on top. And you have the other various flood layers piled on top in rapid succession that took place in the early part of the flood and then kind of midway through the flood. And we kind of end there at the Kaibab limestone up at the top. So we have this full spectrum of rocks, and everywhere we see them, they're flat, just like the Great Unconformity is flat, which probably marks the beginning of the flood in this location, all the way up through all these different layers. Some of these layers, like this limestone layer and this limestone layer, they're supposed to be 160 million years of time. And this represents the red wall. This would be the Muav limestone underneath. And they're supposed to be about 150 to 160 million years of time. But just like you see here, it's perfectly flat. And so when you look at the real canyon, you see the same issues with where is the missing time. And every rock layer looks like it was laid down just like these were laid down, brick upon brick upon brick. And we think this all shows the evidence of the global flood, the catastrophic flood that covered the entire globe, starting with the Great Unconformity on every continent and these various sedimentary layers represented by the mega sequences on every continent that we see.